Hello, everybody on Facebook. How are you doing tonight? Let's bring those Instagram people live. Let's see if I can get them to come on here. Okay, there we go. Trying to get everybody on. All right, hello to my Instagram peeps. It's Deanna, toolsofenergyprotection.com. And tonight I'm on the Facebook platform with For Heaven's Sake Books and over here on my own channel. So, everybody, I'm so excited. My name is Deanna Gloyd. I am a reader with Akashic Records and past lives and mediumship at For Heaven's Sake, usually on Thursdays and then Fair Fridays. So I teach people who are spiritually gifted or just awakening how to take their power back and how to focus in these crazy, wacky times where there's so much overwhelm and things not being understood. So tonight is 11/29/2023, and most of you have gotten through the Thanksgiving holiday. And for some of you, that was kind of owie, and others, you were missing deceased loved ones. And some of you were like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do when I have to go back for Christmas, or, all that kind of stuff. And others of you had an absolutely fabulous time. So that's awesome and amazing. Hang on a second. Half my cards dropped. Makes me wonder what's going on. And anyway, so tonight I'm coming on to talk about a few subjects. One, I'm going to do a reading for the collective consciousness. I haven't done that in a while, which means I'm going to pull cards for every single man, woman, and child called the collective consciousness. It's everybody's thoughts and what's happening, because that will steer how our world acts and reacts. So that'll keep us how things are going on as far as where's the world going next, where's it headed, what craziness is around the corner. So if you will, hold on a second here, there we go. If you have any questions about what's going on in your life, if you'll just post it right down here, Instagram peeps, just post your question down here, Facebook peeps, post your question down here, and I will, after I do the collective consciousness reading, give you a few hacks with Overwhelm, then I will answer your questions. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards and ask, what can we experience or expect coming up for about the next 7 days? Usually I do 5 to 7 day reading. And again, this is the collective consciousness of every man, woman, and child, that draws a breath on the planet. All of us have emotions or energy in motion. And when that motion goes forward, we have different ways of dealing with it. And as a group of souls on this planet, we all contribute into how our world is going to steer forward. So that's a lot going on. And thank you for joining on, everybody. It looks like I got a bunch of people jumping on. I'm Deanna again. I'm a reader at For Heaven's Sake Book in Denver on Thursdays and Fair Fridays. And they've just updated the website over there at For Heaven's Sake Book. Sorry. There we go. Cards keep dropping out. I'm keeping this one. For heaven's sake, so that it's easier to book a reading. But if you go to forheavensake.com and you click, because it's late, they're not there, click on practitioners, look for me, Deanna, and make sure that it's set to the Denver location, not the Applewood location. Otherwise, it'll look like my schedule is full and you won't get on. And again, I'm going to do a reading for the collective consciousness. Then we're going to talk about some hacks about all this overwhelm that's going on. If you don't have overwhelm in your life, that's fantastic. I'm happy for you. The rest of us are chugging along. Okay, and then I'll take some questions. So it looks like I have Ellen joining me. Hi, Ellen. Good evening. I hope you're doing wonderfully. Treva. Oh my gosh, great to see you, Treva. So I hope that you're doing well. Let's see here. There we go. And looks like we have Dana joining us tonight. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull cards for the collective consciousness. And again, that's where is our world steering as an overall. And that is the entire globe, not just here, where I'm at in the States. And it looks like we have an overall card of the Treasure. So that's interesting. Usually an overall card is a different part of the deck, but this is the one that jumped out. So we'll take a look at Treasure. And then the past. Oh boy, I couldn't pick these better myself. The present, Okay, and the future. All right, wow. Okay, this is amazing. So, um, for all the human beings uh, joining us tonight, sorry, I'm being distracted by there's a lot of different, as you all know, I work with all different kinds of beings. I work with spirit beings, I work with deceased loved ones, and I talk to beings not from here, Palladians, you know, that kind of thing. And so tonight in my office, there seems to be this party going on, and I'm really distracted. I like to do my work like this, I'm not working with clients, and I'm presenting so that I can be focused on you all. And instead, I keep getting these beings popping in and out of my office, which, in fairness, before I started the broadcast tonight, I went down to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, I saw a being standing near my office door, and my guide said that being wants to be blessed. So I took a moment to bless that being and give it what it needed to cross over. So I don't know, maybe I'm just having a party in my office. I will let you know, though, that with the planetary alignments the way they are and the vibrational frequency the way it is, we are seeing a lot of things out of the corner of our eye, or we're seeing things that we've never seen before, or you think there's something and then you turn around, maybe it's not there. Having like somebody whisper your name in your ear, these kind of things. If you're experiencing that, can you give me a heart or a thumbs up? Because these are things I thought were just going on with me because of my job, and then coming to find out there's other people experiencing that as well, and they're a little bit scared. If you know somebody like that, tell them it's just part of where we are. The tectonic plates on this planet are shifting, and that is opening up some portals between the dimensions, between the frequencies. Okay, Rhonda. Hey, I love your last name, Rhonda. That's beautiful. All right, Treva, I'm glad that you are feeling blessed. That is awesome. Okay, okay. And then it looks like Lily. How are you doing tonight, Lily? It's good to see you. Okay. So, collective consciousness reading. So when I set these cards out tonight, I got an overall reading for what's called the treasure. And generally on this deck, this particular card deck that I'm using, it is not, I'm sorry here, it's not one of these other cards. It's one with a number on it and not like this. So this is the Two of Keys. I have noticed a lot of people are being asked to make decisions between their things in their life. Do you want to keep continuing doing this, or do you want something different? And if you want something different, are you willing to go in that direction? Are you willing to make the changes and give up this other stuff? I keep seeing that over and over, even in my own life. And once you make that decision to go in a different direction and fully devote yourself to that direction, then you're going to see changes, sometimes more rapidly than others. The energy is mutable right now, which means it's just kind of woo, just like an astronaut, weightless, just kind of floating around, having to push itself this way and that way. And there's no general motivator. So usually in the alignment of the planets, it'll bring us into frequencies, and that'll cause a motivation, and that motivation will get you going one direction or another. So if you're feeling a little lost right now, don't worry about it. It's happening. We're just all kind of in this limbo state. I'm going to be there for another few days. And so this is a good time for you to pick what you desire, and like the astronaut, just push off on the side and float in the direction that you want to go. All right, so the first one is the treasure. So what is the treasure? All right, here's the $1,000,000 answer. The treasure is what's inside your heart. That's the treasure. God, Spirit, or Source tells us that on this planet, our guidance system is our chakras, which includes the heart and the gut. Also includes the mind and stuff, but I'm talking about your heart. That's why we've had a lot of movies over the years about your heart light. Turn on Your Heart Light was one, and the recent movie came out called Wish, and I went to see that. That was an amazing movie. Didn't get very good ratings. Amazing movie for metaphysical people. They talk a lot about your heart light in that movie, and wishes or desires and how that works. So if you haven't seen it, there's your plug. Disney, you owe me. Anyway, okay. Hope you all got a good laugh out of that one. So the treasure is within you. It's in your heart. It's not what's going on in the world. It's not all the distractions. It's not all the fear mongering. It's what's in here. So the next 5 days, focus on what's inside. It's very important. Focus on what's within, okay? Spirit, God's source, flows within. It flows within. It's like the force, okay? Comes without, flows within, okay? And then the card I'm getting for the past that's coming into this week is setting your course, okay? Setting your course. And that's what I was just telling you. We have to set the direction that we want to go. Oh, Frances, you're so sweet. She says, I really appreciate you. Mwah. Thank you, Frances. Thank you. That's touching my heart. I've been doing this line of work and these broadcasts for about, probably about 10 years, maybe a little longer. So it's always nice to hear back from people that they're enjoying what I'm sharing freely with you all so that you have some idea what's happening on the planet. Thank you so much. Okay, so setting your course. This is so super important to set our courses right now. And you might say, oh my gosh, Deanna, how could I possibly set my course? I just got done with Thanksgiving and I had to clean the entire house. And now I'm having to pack and having to travel and all these people and jostle. And here comes the holidays, blah, blah, blah. Noise. It's all noise, I'm telling you. Center yourself. Hi, Mama Jakim. Center yourself. Let the hubbub go on. That's fine. You might have things that you have to do and points that you have to meet. By a certain time you have to turn this in, or by a certain time you have to, do this or you have to do that. That's normal. Okay? A lot of pressure during the holidays, a lot of energy and motion. Remember Sesame Street? Energy in motion. Emotion, right? That's what comes out when they used to do that. So we have a lot of emotions right now. So do the best you can to set your course. What I do is I write out a list of things that I have to get done. Oh, Amy, thank you for that, love. I'm glad that that resonates with you. Do what you need to do to get ready. Write out in a notebook, on a whiteboard. I have a whiteboard in my office. I just write everything out. Then I write what days I want to do it. And then I break it down into hours. And I focus on those things during that time. And you may say to me, oh, Deanna, I can't possibly. I'm a mom. Everything's crazy. My kids are getting ready for the holidays and they want to go to school and blah, blah. I've been there. If you set your mind that certain things are going to take place at certain times, and then you allow the universe to flow things, it'll be a lot better for you, okay? I'm not saying that if you set a schedule, the British schedule, and everything's tight, that it's going to flow. Probably won't, because the universe right now is crazy. Got crazy energy all over the place. It's like a super ball. Boom, 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 boom. What I'm saying is that instead of freaking out and not knowing where things are headed or going, you bring a schedule. So my schedules sometimes are down to the hour, down to the 20 minutes. Other times my schedules are more like, okay, these are the 7 things I need to get done in the next 2 days. And I will start with the most important one first. And yes, things pop up and you got to go get the kids, or, you got to meet the bus, or whatever it is you have to do. You can still manifest things in between those times and get things rolling instead of being all over the place like a crazy person. If that makes sense to you, please give me a thumbs up or a heart if that makes sense to you. All right. The next thing, this is the weirdest present card I've seen. It's not the weirdest card, it's just the weirdest one I've seen in a setup like this. So we have the treasure, and that is within. That's our little light within. And you can see this guy has got his light over the top of him. He's kind of, let's see here. He's kind of going like this, like he's considering, or not speaking. But what's shown to me is it's the light. That's the treasure that you are to this planet, being a highly sensitive person, empath, or starseed. All right. Then our current or our past coming up now is setting the course. So this last week, setting the course. Most of us were trying to recover from Thanksgiving and all the hoopla, and I'm like, okay, we got to get back on track. This is a weird one for the present. The present is called winged messengers. Winged messengers. And you're like, Deanna, why is that weird? Okay. Well, right now, in the current evolution of our planet, we have a lot of visitors that I like to call the ones not from here. The human beings are here, and these beings are not from here. And a lot of you have, especially in Denver, have been calling me saying, hey, I keep seeing lights up in the sky that don't look normal, and they're not the ones that Musk has up for the traveling to give us supposedly better internet. But they're things I don't expect to see. And some of you are telling me that you think that you're, receiving messages or feeling like somebody's talking to you that's not your normal angels and guides. And I don't want to weird you all out, but that's pretty much what's happening right now. So if you haven't ever looked them up, you might want to look up the Palladians. They've been around for a while. They've been around here a long time. And I think it was the 70s. Somebody wrote a book about it. Her name's not coming to my mind, but anyway, they're around. They're helping us because they don't want to see us blow up our planet. That's it. It's that simple. They work more with people than others. If you have questions, just let me know. Hi, Jordan. Nice to have you join us. So glad to see you tonight. Okay, so but that's what's going on. So winged messengers. We do have not from here's, right around right now. We also have spirit beings that are helping us out. We have ancestors that are helping us out, and deceased loved ones that have crossed over. Last week I had a woman come in the store, and I didn't know that she had a deceased loved one who'd crossed over. And she was struggling in her life with her money and her romance, and her career decisions, and she'd come to me for advice. And very interestingly, one of her recently passed relatives jumped in and said, hey, I got some things I can tell her. So just remember that our ancestors, even though they may not be here and have crossed over, they are still able to see us, and they're helping us during these times because these are unprecedented times that we're living under. There's never been this collection of astrological shifts and frequencies, and so this is it. We're the experiment at this point. We passed what they projected, for time and space, and what the plan was projected was up to about roughly 2000, and since then it's like, well, let's see what happens. Okay, and that's the spirit beings that are watching us and helping us and all that. And God's spirit source does figure into that plan. It's just looking at it a little differently. All right. Then Amy says, so should we pay attention to coincidences and dreams? Absolutely, Amy. I am so glad you asked that. So a lot of us are getting what's called downloads right now. So you might feel like you were reading all night, or you were having a teacher instruct you or something like that. We're getting energetic downloads. So it's like a computer, when you go to a site and you want to download something or install an app, it's like that. But it's for those of us that need it, that are here to do the work and spread the light. And hi, Asha. Good. I'm so glad that you joined us. Thank you for joining us. And it's about bringing that light forward as a starseed, an empath, or highly sensitive person. So your dreams right now are either helping you to work through things. I've had a lot of dreams where I've had blocks in my life, and I find that I'm working through these blocks in my dream state. It's actually a part of your soul that's working through that and then coming back into the conscious brain. So do pay attention to it. It is very important. And then coincidences usually mean that you're manifesting. So if you've asked God, Spirit, or Source for something, or you're attempting to get better health, and all of a sudden you come across a healing method you never heard before and it works like magic, or if you're dating, sorry, there's more spirit beings in my office tonight. That's like they've got a full house in here tonight. But if you're asking God, Spirit, or Source for something, if you're like, I want a better job, or, better relationship, and something comes out of the blue, and just you meet somebody by happenstance, it's not a coincidence. That's you, Amy, and everybody else watching, putting your intentions out and receiving. Okay? Beautiful question. Thank you so much for asking that. If you have any other questions, please do post them down here in the feed, down here in Facebook or over here on Instagram. So good for to have you join us. Okay, so we got the treasure. That's the treasure within all of our hearts that we really need to be connected to right now. It's so super important. We need to set our course, right? We just got through Thanksgiving. Did we have a great time? Not so great time. Were our emotions good? You know, do we find some more poop about ourselves, shadow selves we need to work through? Look for information and answers coming to you in downloads, deja vus, okay? Spirit beings, you know, angels delivering messages to you. They just show up. They may not show up like they do in my office because they don't want to scare you, but I see like figures in my office, like there's one right there and it just looks like the outline of a person. It's really cool. They come hang out with me sometimes they don't. Anyway, future for the next 5 to 7 days, stay on track. Stay on track. Because right now these energies are so crazy and they're so all over the place that if you, oops, sorry about that, Facebook, that if you let yourself get carried away, your energy is going to be all over the schmeggin' place. I promise you. If your energy is all over the place, you've got to come back in and center and ground. Your root chakra, the one below your privates, and your sacral, below the belly button, above the pubic bone. Those are the two most important chakras to balance right now, period. If you need help, you can go to forheavensake.com, click on practitioners, click on the Denver location, and click on Deanna. That's me. And you'll be able to find a schedule. There's about 4 or 5 slots left tonight, so you know, if you go and you find that there's no slots, make sure that you're in Denver and not Applewood. Anyway, and schedule a space for yourself. This week I'm getting more people reaching out to me about deceased loved ones between the holidays, and they're wanting to talk to their grandma or their moms or their dads. And so I've had a lot of mediumship this week. That'll probably continue during the holidays, so if you'd like to get on, let me know. And then when you're getting these messages, you know, coincidences, happy accidents, there's no real accidents, knowing things in your heart, that is your messengers. And sometimes God, Spirit, or Source will speak through other people, okay? And stay on track. Do not let yourself get caught up in this, because a lot of people are in overwhelm right now, and they say time is going so fast and I don't know what to do, and they're right. I looked it up scientifically. The Earth is tilting on its axis a little bit, which is causing a lot of the shifting of the tectonic plates, and time is literally speeding up. So, you know, I don't know how much time we've lost at this point. Sometimes when it speeds up, they measure it by calendar days, and you know, or how many days are actually happening. So if you're feeling that, you're not weird, you're not unusual, you're right on cue. All right, looks like we have another question. It says, been trying to get through stubborn people with my light. It's working with patience and grace, not getting on the defensive, rejecting negativity. Good job, Trevor. Yeah, you go, girl. Okay. So when we're trying to get through the stubborn people with your light, there are times when those stubborn people, no matter what you do, are going to just push you back, shut you down. So remember that you're responsible for shining your light. They are responsible for receiving it or not receiving it. So Trevor, if you're a beautiful light, which we know you are, you imagine lights outside during the summertime, you know, when all the bugs come, and then you got that you know, cover, and they try to get up under the cover, right? Well, your job is to shine that light, and when the negativity comes, you've got that cover around you, that shield, your chakras, and it goes bing, bing, so it doesn't get to your heart. And you sounds like you're doing a great job with patience and grace. And not getting on the defensive is absolutely right. You draw your boundaries, you hold them. That's it. Sometimes when you draw your boundaries and hold them, people will get a little wiggy. They don't like boundaries, and they're not used to it from you. So, you know, It'll be a new venture. All right, I'm going to move on to the next person. Let's see here. Travis says having problems. Oh, if you have any questions over here, put them down below. Been having problems with physical issues, and that makes sense. Okay, good. I'm glad that makes sense to you because energy is energy in motion, and energy in motion. Sorry, Trev, I was trying to put a hug on your comment, but it didn't happen, so I gave you a thumbs up. Sorry. um, but basically, you are going through, everybody's going through these shifts and changes, and it just depends on how it's hitting you physically, how you've kept your physical body to what you're going to be feeling. This week I have been more exhausted than I've ever been in my life, and part of it is not staying hydrated enough. So the best hack I can give you for anything is stay hydrated. So I told you I was going to give you a little bit of information. I'm going to try to keep this short again tonight. I could get on here and teach forever. Anyway, you know I love it. Tonight, I told you I was going to cover some hacks. I think I put that down here on the Facebook thing about covering, no, it's not showing it, covering some hacks for you about overwhelm. So listen up. Overwhelm is about having too much stimulus, too many things you can't deal with, too many things trying to pull your attention, or if you will, coming at you. And when you're expected to do so much and you're running, you know, pretty soon you watch a human person run, you know, and, you know, not a runner, but somebody that, you know, is trying to run to get away from something, and eventually their feet trip over and they go, boop, you know, right down. And that's what happens with overwhelm. So here's some hacks for you on overwhelm. Number one, and this is no joke, drink plenty of water. When you go into the fight, flight, or frozen, or fawn, it's because your body is working overtime and your amygdala is freaking out. And that takes a lot of water because your body has to have water to process all those toxins you're creating. Number two, get plenty of protein. Whatever protein you do, plant or meat or whatever you do, because your body needs protein to be able to handle that. Less with the carbs, just more with the protein. And of course, in wisdom, check with your healthcare provider. Don't say, oh, some crazy lady, you know, on a video told me I had to do this. No, check with your healthcare provider. There may be a diet that's going to support your body more. Maybe you need more vitamins, you know, that in the foods that you're eating, nitrates. I don't know, but find out, because your body, the chemical factory is inside of your tummy. I used to have a lady that I belong to a business networking group with, and she's like, it's your tummy's a chemical factory, and it really is. So everything that you put in, touch, ingest, breathe in, you know, it gets processed. And your tummy is like your gas tank, and if it is not properly fed or properly nurtured, then what goes in is going to come out. So be sure that what you're putting in the tank is good, the best food you can get. And you don't have to eat a lot either. That's what I'm finding. I love food, I love to eat, and I'm finding I need to eat less food. More nutrition, less food. So that's what I'm working on, and that gives me not so much weight, body mass, and it makes it easier to move through time and space. Okay? Another overwhelm hack is to find a way to center yourself. Meditation. If you, oh, I got a monkey mind, I can't, you know, I have some people like, I got a monkey mind, I can't possibly still my mind, right? Dana, one moment, I'll be right there. But you've got this monkey mind all over the place. And when I first started trying to meditate, honestly, I fell asleep because I hadn't stilled my mind like that in so long. I was always in the fight or flight all the time. So when you learn to still your mind, that will help with the overwhelm, because it's like a reset button. Ooh, I forgot to bring my button over here. My daughter has a button that we got years ago, and you click it and it goes, that was easy. So if you cannot get your mind to still, check into yoga. Yoga is meditation in motion. It's absolutely beautiful, okay? If you can't do that, maybe you have age in the body and not stable, or you can't balance or whatever, check into Tai Chi or Qigong, because you slow down and you move the energy, and it's energy in motion with your physical body, and you've got to focus on that. Plus, you're moving, for those of you that have monkey minds, and that'll really help. Okay? And the other thing for overwhelm is to make a list. And don't tell me, oh, Deanna, if I make a list, that's too overwhelming. Baloney. You just don't want to look at it. Okay? Every professional that I have ever read their books, they say if you can't measure it by writing it down, you can't change it. And the reason is because our minds are like, oh, I'm doing this and this and this, and you're really not. But your mind thinks you're doing it, but your body's actually not participating in the action. And then, things catch up with you, and you're like, but I already did that. No, you didn't. You thought about it. So if you write things down, then you can measure, did I get this done? Yes or no? Check it off. Or like for me, I go down my list as much as I can in a day, and then I realize, oh my gosh, I needed this much more time to do this much. So the next day I schedule it differently, which reduces the overwhelm. And don't be afraid to download or offload things. And don't be afraid to say no. Because as a mom, being in school, with the kiddos, you want to volunteer for everything, and you've got, tons of stuff going on. So it's okay to volunteer for a little bit of time, but that doesn't mean you have to give all your time to other things, other people, and not take care of you and your own family if you have one. Okay? So those are the hacks I'm sharing tonight for how to overcome overwhelm. Well, I like it. Overcome overwhelm. Maybe I should write a book. Anyway, so if you have any questions, put them down here in the feed, okay? For the people that would like to get a session with me, at for heaven's sakes, in Denver, I do Zoom. You just have to let them know, or when you register, put it in the notes so I can get you a Zoom link. I can do FaceTime, the phone, or you can come in person. Now, I prefer you go in person. That's why I go to Denver. I have a lot of clients in Denver, so that's why I go down there, so they can come and see me and find out what they need and get their needs taken care of at the store, because it's amazing right there. You've got smudging wands, you've got candles, you've got little statues, you've got books, you've got gems, everything, stones, everything's there. So it makes it easier for me to pull things for you that you might need in your process of working through whatever your energy in motion is. Okay. Dana, thank you so much for waiting. She said she's having with the problems with the roommate help. Okay, Dana, if you're having challenges with the roommate, the first thing to do is to sit down and have a discussion with them about what the ground rules are. Because anytime you have a relationship, each person is going to assume what they see in the relationship and project it onto the other person, right? Thumbs up, angry face. So any kind of relationship, roommate, lovers, friends, husbands, wives, whatever. A relationship means to relate to each other. So what's the basis of that relationship? If it is a roommate, Dana, then we need to ask that roommate, right? Sit down at the table together. Have a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you drink. Don't do the Red Bull, then you'll be like this. Anyway, and sit down with them and say, okay, this is what being a roommate means to me. And what is your criteria? Is it always paying the rent on time? Is it not having a house full of drama with their friends that come over? Is there a quiet period? Me and my roommate, when I used to have one a long time ago, we had quiet time where we agreed that no other people would come over at those times. It was a sacred time where it was just me and my roommate, or just my roommate, or just me. It was a time we agreed upon that nobody else came in the house. We also had rotational chores. So, she would cook and I would clean. One week she did the bathroom, the next week I did the bathroom. And we worked it out. So you decide, Dana, what's most important to you, okay? To me, that's paying the rent on time, respecting other people's space. Good. Thank you for the thumbs up. And if you have to write it down, and I know this sounds kind of childish, but it works. Write it down and get her to sign it, and you sign it, that those are the terms of your agreement, and then under your signatures put, we will revisit this in, and put a date. Because when you first make rules or ground rules or set parameters, you have to go back and revisit them because maybe it didn't work. Maybe me cleaning the bathroom every other week didn't work, and I need to do it for a whole month, and then she does a month. I don't know. So what I'm saying is to you, Dana, and everybody listening, in a relationship, in roommates, not so much, like lovers and husbands, but write it down and say, this is what we've agreed on. Each person signs it, and then you put a revisiting date. And then on that day, you sit down and you talk about it again. And if they miss that date, then you have it the next date. If they miss it a third time, you tell them, look, it's really not working out for me. And then in the meantime, do the best you can to put yourself in a position where if you need to be alone, or live alone, you can. Okay? Dana, I hope that answers your question. If you can give me a thumbs up or a heart or whatever, to let me know that answered your question, I really appreciate it. Okay, and I'm going to come back over here to the Facebook page. Let's see here. Okay. Amy says, meditation journal reads, still mind without extra noise. Yes. All right, Amy, one additional thing. If you're having challenges stilling your mind, some people just have that really hard time. I have challenges at night going to sleep because being an entrepreneur, you all know this is what I do for my living full time. Okay, this is what I do. Been doing it successfully, in the green, if you will, over 10 years. Okay, and so when I go to bed at night, if you're an entrepreneur, your mind just doesn't shut off. I forgot to do this. I forgot to do this. What about this? Can I get this done? Can I create this? Who can I contact for that? And you're just all over the place, So when you go to sleep, your mind's like, I didn't do this, didn't do that. Oh, gotta do this tomorrow. When am I gonna fit this in, right? That's what happens for me anyway. So I put on music at night. Sometimes it's rainforest, sometimes it's Tibetan singing bowls, sometimes it's Baroque music, symphony, and I fall asleep to it because it helps my mind to be still. So that may be something, Amy, that you can try. But still your mind the best you can. At first you don't succeed, do it again. Eventually you will get there. It's like lifting weights. You may not be able to lift 1,000 pounds the first day, but if you do the 50s or the 100s and work your way up, you're going to be just fine. Anyway, I don't see any more questions. Asha, thank you so much for the hearts. Dana, I hope that helps you over here. The desired outcome is maybe that some other people, are having the same trouble. And so again, I will be at For Heaven's Sake Books in Denver, Colorado tomorrow. And that's Thursday, 11/29/2023 is today. And if you find yourself needing that help, go to forheavensake.com, click on Denver, click on Deanna, and you'll find the available spaces I have at the store. And one more question says, I know my power comes in journaling, but I keep avoiding it. Yes, Amy, take a look at why you're avoiding it. That's what I do. I'm like, okay, if I'm wanting to look at something and I keep looking over here, why do I want to look at it? So maybe that's a good way to start it out and have a conversation with yourself. Anyway. All right, big hugs and kisses to everybody. I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you have any questions, you can call the Denver store at 303-964-9339. And tell them that you'd like to get in touch with me. Otherwise, I'll see you in a session soon, and we'll see you next week. So, goodbye.